Hi, beautiful people. Welcome to Val Fashion's YouTube channel. My name is Eunice. Thank you for clicking on this video. In this video, we're going to be learning how to make this beautiful blouse, and it is a 12 panels blouse, aka 12 pieces blouse. This blouse is really beautiful and very simple to make. I hope this is something you are interested in learning. Kindly stay tuned while we get right into the tutorial. Thank you. And before we proceed, I hope you have subscribed to my channel. If you haven't done so, please kindly hit on the subscribe button to subscribe and also put on your notification bell so you get notified once I post a new video. Thank you. So we'll be drafting on our pattern paper, and as you can see that I have already marked my points. Here I have the shoulder line. This is the starting line here, and you can see I have my shoulder slant. All I did was to enter half of her shoulder measurement plus half inch for joining the sleeve. So that's what brought me to this 8.5. And then I marked 3 inches here. Can you see? This is my 3 inches here. And then I came down by 1 inch to create my shoulder slant. Then I came down by the armhole measurement of my client. Her armhole measurement is 7 3/4. So that is how I got this 7 3/4 here. So this is the armhole line, so which is also the chest line. So I just labeled it CL. And then from shoulder to bust point, 10.5. So this is my 10.5 BL. From shoulder to under bust point is 13.5. So this is UBL. And then from shoulder to waistline is 17 inches. And so this is our waistline here. And then this is the top length. So length is 24.5. Okay, so I haven't gotten my marking. So the next thing I want to do now, on the bust line, I'll come here and enter the nipple to nipple measurement of my client. And so I'm entering her nipple, half of her nipple to nipple measurement, which is 3.5 plus half inch. So that's why I got my 4 inches here. So I'll bring down that same 4 inches here, 4 inches to this point, and then also 4 inches down to this point like this. So I'm just going to use my straight ruler to connect this point here. So now I have the nipple to nipple line here. So can you see? So now I'll be doing my dart intake. So to achieve the dart intake, this is our center front line. This is going to be the side. And this is the under bust line. So on the under bust line, I'm going to mark 1 inch on this side. I'll mark 1 inch on this side. And then I'll also bring the same 1 inch down to this point like this. So I'll connect it like this. Okay, you see? So for this side, depending on how busty the person is, you can do 1.5 on this side or the same 1 inch. In this case, I'll be doing 1 inch on this side. So at the end of the day, I have 1 inch on both sides. So I'm going to mark 1 inch here too. And then I'll mark the same 1 inch here. And then bring down the same 1 inch to this point here. So I haven't marked my point here. So now at the bust point line, I'm going to come down by half of an inch. So now you can see that I'll have our bust point line. I'll get the over bust. So the distance from the bust point to the under bust also gives you the distance or the over bust. So you can add half inch if you want it to be more covered. So now I'll place my tape from this bust point and go up by the same distance that I have here. I have 3 inches here. So I'll go up by 3 inches plus half. So now this is what I have, this 3.5. So now this is now the upper bust line. Can you see? So this is now our upper bust line. So I'm just going to connect the same 4 inches that I have here. I'll take it all the way up to this point. So having marked it, on this point, remember I came down by half of an inch. I'll also go up by half of an inch from the bust point line. So you can see that I have 1 inch now at this point, half inch here, half inch here. So then I'll bring in my armhole curve and connect to this point like this. And then I'll also connect to this point like this. Can you see that? So having done that, next thing I want to do at the overbust point here, I'm going to be marking half inch here, and then I'll mark the same half inch at this point. That's half half on both sides. So I'm going to also use my armhole curve and connect it to this point. And then I'll also connect to this point like this. Can you see? So this, can see our bustier is coming out already. So I want to have a sweetheart neckline here because you notice that there's a yoke attached to it. So now from this point here, you can see the distance I have here. From shoulder to this point, this is about 6 3/4. So I'll just come down by half of an inch from that point, like this, and then connect it like this. So can you see that this part will now serve as my yoke. So I'm just going to blend it up like this. So you can see that here is basically straight. I'm not doing anything here. So I'm just going to bring it down this way like this. So all of this side will be my yoke. So this is going to be our yoke. You see? So next we'll come here now and enter all our measurements. So on this point, I'm going to enter, take note that this is our center front here. So I'll enter the half quarter of our bust measurement, which is our quarter of our bust measurement is 9 and 3/4, 9 and 1/4, sorry. So 9 and 1/4 plus my 2 inches. So quarter of her under bust measurement is 7.5 inches. So, but you can see that I have a dart intake here of 2 inches. So you want to make sure to replace back that 2 inches. And then we'll go ahead and enter our 2 inches for our sewing allowance. So can you see the 2 inches we have here? I replaced it back because we're going to be cutting out all these points. These are done. So the waist measurement is also 7.5. The dart we have here is what? 2 inches. We're going to replace back the same 2 inches. And then we'll go ahead and add our 2 inches for our sewing allowance. So the hip measurement is, when you divide by 4, that's 9 and 3/4. So here's our 9 and 3/4. Then 2 inches for our dart. We replace the 2 inches for the dart, and then 2 inches for our sewing allowance. So I'm going to use my ruler to connect it like this. So let me just straighten out this line. Can you see? So this is from waist to hip like this, from waist to under bust, and then to bust line, and then of course you can see what we have. So let me just indicate that this is my sewing allowance. So can you see? So you just want to blend up this is our sewing allowance. So let's just label this SA, which is for our sewing allowance. Okay, so the next thing now we want to do is to draw our armhole. So next thing we'll be doing is to draw our armhole, and I'll place my tape from the shoulder slant and fold it into two to get the midpoint of the armhole. Having gotten the midpoint of the armhole, I'll go in by half of an inch. I'll be marking half of an inch because I'll be using this to also achieve the back armhole. So when we're done, we can always trim the front to go in by 3/4 of an inch. We know that our back armhole is not as deep as the front armhole, so I just went in by half of an inch, and I've slanted it back to the shoulder tip. So I'll just go ahead and curve out the down part. So can you see? So this is now our armhole. So take note that we took that from here. Can you see? So just like we replaced this that's just like we added back this that, you need to do this also. If not, there's going to be a shortage. Remember that this yoke will be sewn to this part, and this yoke as it is, you can see that this is where the armhole measurement stops. So if you measure from here, let's place our tape like this. This is 8 inches here at this curve like this that we have now. Can you see? So by the time we cut out this dart, this is what we're going to have left. This is 3.5 inches here. So from this 3.5 inches, can you see that this is stopping at 7.5? So you want to make sure that you replace back this 1 inch here. So I'm going to just come here now and add this 1 inch back here. Can you see? So the armhole now, this particular side will extend out while we still maintain this side. So we're going to just bring out our curve like this, and then we'll curve it this way. Can you see? So this is now going to be the armhole for this side. So we have replaced back that. So we'll come here and draw the front neckline. I'm using down with a neck depth of 3.5 inches and then a neck width of 4 inches. So I'm going to bring in my armhole curve like this and then curve the neckline like this. So can you see? So this is what our neckline looks like. So now you can see that we have successfully drafted our pattern. So now we'll come to the hem of this. Can you see this sharpness that is here? We don't want to have that sharpness. So I'm going to just go up by 1 inch at this point here. That's at the side here to curve it. So why do we usually go in by 1 inch? Can you see that this part, you want to just give it that nice balance around this side. Let's take the measurement we have here. From this waistline now to this point, I have 7.25 inch. That's what I have here. If you take this measurement here, can you see that? If you can see what I'm doing clearly, can you see I have 7.25 inch here, and then here I have 8 inches. So if you don't take out that difference here, it has a way of just making your clothes look long and ugly around that side. So you want to give it that balanced look. That is why we always go up by that 1 inch here. I hope you understand. So I'm just going to connect it like this. So can you see it stopped at this first dart leg? I didn't take it all the way. I stopped it at this first dart leg. Now we're making a 12 pieces blouse, and we know that this is one side of our front. And you can see we already have 2 pieces. This is center and this is side. So here we're supposed to have 3 pieces. So that if we have 3 pieces on this side, we'll have 3 pieces on the other side of the front, and also have the same three pieces on the back sides too, to complete our 12 pieces blouse. So now we'll come to the side piece here. I'm just going to check here at the bust point. What do I have here? From here to here, excluding my sewing allowance. So what I have here, from this place to this place, I have 5.25. So I'll just come here and get the midpoint of this, my 5.25, which is going to be, let me just fold my tape into two like this. And this is the center here. Can you see? So I'll try to mark this. What I have here on this side. Can you see? What I have here on this side is 2.5 and then 1/8 of an inch. So I'm just going to mark the same thing all the way down like this. So having marked it, I'm going to connect it now with my straight ruler. I'll connect like this, like this, then like this. Of course, I'll take it all the way up like this also. So can you see? So this is center. This is going to be my center. That's middle and side front. That's middle side front. I can label this one now. Middle side front. This is center front. And then side front. Can you see? So now I have my three pieces. This is 1, 2, and 3. So we're going to go ahead now and cut out this pattern. This, so you can see I'm cutting out the base here. So now we'll go ahead and cut out this. So you can see this point, these are dots. I'll be cutting out this part, cutting out this part also. So we'll go ahead and cut now. Remember that all our measurements started from here, so this is not part of our measurement. This is our dart. So you can see that this dart is off and this dart is off. So this is what we have here. So we'll go ahead and cut out like this. So this is now, our front piece. So we'll come here and cut this one. So as you can see that this is our middle center front and this is our side, okay, and then this is our center front. So I can just cut out this part so that we'll have our exact measurement from for the front. We'll add our sewing allowance on the pattern, on the main fabric. So you can see I have 3 pieces and then you can see that this is my sewing allowance. So here now we'll come here to cut our armhole. So these are shoulder slant. So we'll also cut out this because it's not part of our measurement. So this is our yoke here. So can you see? So let's place them together like this and bring in the yoke. Can you see that this is because we added back that 1 inch that we removed? That is why this yoke is getting to this point. So imagine that we didn't add it back. This is where this measurement would have stopped and there's already a shortage. So you don't want to forget to add it. Please always remember to add it. So now we're going to place to cut our back. Now to cut our back, I've placed my front pieces. We're going to be using the front piece to cut our back. So you can see that this is the underbust line here, and I've indicated the underbust line here. Can you see that I have a space of 1.5 inches here, which is going to serve as my zip allowance for the back. At this point where we have our underbust line, I came in by half of an inch here to remove our zipper bulge, and I marked it here. So you can see that I slanted it upwards all the way up to the neckline here. You can just take it all the way even to the shoulder line. Can you see? And then I slanted it downwards also. So this is to eliminate zipper bulge from the back of our blouse. So now for the back yoke, can you see that this is where the actual line is? Remember that we came down to form the sweetheart shape. For the back, we're not going to be having any sweetheart shape at the back. So I'm just going to straighten my line like this. So this is going to be the yoke of the back. Can you see? So this is going to be our line here. And then for the back neckline, you can see that I already have my zip allowance here. So for the back neckline, I'm going to be using a neck depth of, for the front I used For the front I used 4 inches, right? So for the back I'm going to be using 3 inches for the depth on our back neckline. So now we're going to go ahead and cut out exactly what we have here, and then we'll alter it to get our back. So I'm going to be cutting out all the pieces that I have here. So I'm just going to cut the neckline first like this. So you can see that we don't want to have this sweetheart shape. All I need to do is just to raise it up like this a little. So can you see that this is going to be our back yoke? Okay, and then we'll come here and cut out the armhole here. So can you see that this is a straight line now? So we'll come here and cut out this bulge, the zipper bulge here. And then we'll come here and cut out the shape. Okay. So now having cut it out, so now this is our back yoke. So now I'll separate the back yoke from the front yoke. This is what the back yoke looks like. So now I'll go ahead and trim out the extra 1/4 inch I'm supposed to trim out from the front armhole. So this is what it's supposed to look like. So can you see that the front armhole is more inward a little by 1/4 inch as compared to the back? And then we'll bring in the centerpiece and the side piece. So now to eliminate this bust, because we don't have bust at the back, all we need to do now is to fold this bust. Can you see? So just fold it to this point. So you want to just take out this difference here. So can you see when you place it like this? So you can see that this is the part that we need to cut out. Can you see? So we'll just trim out this part. So can you see? So this is what our back looks like. It doesn't have bust. So for the center back also, we're going to also do the same thing. We'll just raise the bust, that's this part like this. Like this, and then we'll go ahead and cut it out. So it's that simple. So you can see that now we have the bust in front, and we don't have bust at the back. So these are back piece, so we can now separate them. These are center back here, okay, and then this is the side back here. So you can see we have the 3 pieces here. So now you need to do something. You need to indicate that use arrows to indicate that this side will be joined to this side. So I'm just going to use my arrow this way. And then also this side will be joined to this side will be joined to this side, and this is our center back here. Of course, middle back, and then side back. So that's it. So you can see we have 3 pieces of this, and we also have 3 pieces for the front also. I can see that this is the yoke for this one. Can you see? So this is what we have here for our back, and everything is coming out nice. So now to achieve our panels, the opening, you can see that I have placed my pieces. These are the front pieces. This center front, middle side front, and side front. So to achieve these pieces, you can see here that I have this space of 2 inches. I want to be opening them up by 2 inches. And you can see that these are waistline. This is the under bust line, this is the waistline. This is also the waistline, this is the waistline here. So I'm going to open the hem up here by 2 inches, which is what I have here, and then I'll also mark 2 inches from the side here. So I'm just going to use my straight ruler to connect it like this. So can you see? So I'll mark the same 2 inches on this side, and then mark 2 inches also on this side. And then like this. So I'll mark the same 2 inches here. Can you see? So now we'll go ahead and cut it out. So this is what our pieces looks like, our panels looks like. So I'm just going to go up by 1 inch from each of the sides like this. This is to give it that balanced look. Remember I said by the time it is like this, of course it has a way of straightening out. So just want it to come out really nice. So can you see how it looks? Can you see that it has this nice balance as compared to this? So I'm going to repeat the same thing by going up by 1 inch here on this side, and then I'll just connect it to the center and cut it out. I'll do the same thing for this one also. So I've finished cutting adding my two inches on the sides, and I'll cut them out. So you can see this is our front pieces. These are our front pieces, and then these are the back piece. And you see this is the back with the zip allowance, so you can see that this part is wider. I also came out here by 2 inches at the center back. You want to also make sure to do this at the center back. It has a way of giving it that nice opening at the center back here. So you can see I did on both sides of the center back piece, and then also the same thing on the middle back piece, and then here's our side piece. So now I'm going to place this on my fabric, which is going to be my suede. So let me show us the velvet fabric I'm using. So this is our velvet fabric, and I've prepped this fabric already. I've ironed my hairstay to it. This will actually help it to be firm. So can you see it's no longer stretching this way, just to give it stability. And you can see also this way, can you see it's no longer stretching. You want to just make sure that you iron your hairstay to your velvet material so that it doesn't keep shifting here and there. So now I'm going to cut 2 pieces of each of this. Everything I have here, I'm going to be cutting two each. The center front, I'll have two, but I'll cut and add my sewing allowance. I'll add half inch to this point here at the center here. I'll add half inch here, half inch here. I won't be adding to this point because already I have 4 inches. And nipple to nipple is 3.5. So can you see that I already have 4 inches? So this half inch will be for my joining. So I'm adding only to the center front for this part, and then I'll add here half inch at the upper part, and then here I'll add half inch to this side, half inch to this side also, and half inch up. I'll add half inch here. I won't be adding anything to this side. I already have my sewing allowance. I'll add half inch here. So for this part, I will not add anything here. You know that this is my zip allowance here, right? So I'll add half inch here at this side. I'll be using to join this and this together. Half inch here, half inch on this side, and also at the end here. So I'll add half inch round, excluding this side. So for this part, I'll just add half inch round for this, and then here I'll add only half inch here, and then half inch also here. I won't be adding here because I already have my sewing allowance. So I'm going to cut it out and show us. So I've gone ahead to cut my fabric. So these are center front, middle side front, and then this is side front, the last side front. So this now is our center front. You can see that we have two pieces of this. Can you see? And then I also went ahead to cut the lining, and I also applied fusible, that's paper stay, to the lining as much as I applied haste stay to the main fabric. So now it's time for us to start stitching our pieces together. So I'm going to take these two center front pieces like this. This is the lining there. So let me just shift this back this way. These are all the back pieces. So I'm going to place this like this. I'll be sewing right side facing right side here at the middle. But before I'll sew it, I'm going to be placing this green bias at the center here like this. So I'm going to sew my green bias here first. You see, I'm going to sew it on this part. Then before I'll go ahead and place this and stitch it down. So I will now have two of the center front together to form one center front. Can you see what is already giving us? It's going to give that opening here. So once I've done that, the next thing I'm going to do is to pick the middle side front and place it like this. I'll be sewing it to this side here like this. But before sewing it, of course, I'm going to also use my green bias. I'll sew the green bias on this part like this. I'm going to sew the green bias all the way down. So this is how our green bias is. So I'm just going to fold it into two like this so that I can sew it here like this in a curvy manner, following this shape. So by the time I'm done sewing it, I will now sew my the bustier to it. So at the end of the day, you just see this small green stuff just showing outside here. So that's what we're going to be doing. So I'm going to sew this side to this side. Can you see? So this side will be joined to this side like this, and then this other side will be joined to this side. So then the last piece, which is going to be that's the side front. So now this side will be sewn to this side like this, my green bias to it. Can you see? And then this side will be sewn to this side like this. So you can see we have our six pieces. This is three here on this side. So we have six in front, then we also have our six at the back to give us our 12 pieces. So I'm going to join them quickly and come back and show us. So as it is, I've joined my front panels together, and this is what it looks like at the down part at the hem. Can you see how it just opens up? We have our six panels for the front. You can also see my green bias sitting really pretty neat, not looking tacky, and it's coming out well. This is what it looks like in front. You want to make sure that when you're using velvet, you apply your haste stay. This will give your fabric stability. So, and here is my lining, the front lining. I joined the pieces together. You can also see that I padded the lining. This is to make my work really neat. So I remember I'm using velvet. Don't want to press too much on top of your velvet. So I padded the lining instead of padding the main fabric. You can also do this for your Ankara. You can pad your lining instead of padding directly on your main fabric. And then here is my front yoke. Can you see? This is what the front yoke looks like. So let me show us how I'll be stitching it. Can you see that the front yoke was cut? I cut it on fold, so of course so that it can get to the other side. So right now, I'm going to place the yoke exactly at the center, like you can see me doing. So I'll be placing it right side, facing right side. I'm going to use my safety pin to pin that point down. Okay, so this is what we have. And you see how our yoke is on the neckline. So I'm going to take this to my sewing machine and stitch the yoke to the neckline. After stitching it, I'll bring in my lining, place the lining on the right side of the velvet, and then stitch all three of them together. Take note that I'll be stitching my yoke first before going ahead to stitch the lining also to it. So for our back pieces, we also have our back pieces, and you can see that I've joined all three pieces together for one side, and then this is the other side. I joined the three panels also together, and you can see I have my green bias in between them also. So this is it, and then here I have my lining, and I also have the lining for the second side. So right now I'll bring in my yoke. I'll also be sewing the yoke to the velvet fabric, and then I'll use my lining to turn the neckline. So here I have my back yokes. I have two pieces, of course, because I have two pieces for the back. So I'm going to place the yoke, right side of the yoke facing the right side of the fabric. So can you see? So I'm just going to use my safety pin to secure it also at the neckline here. Once I'm done pinning it down, I'm going to stitch on half inch and then use my lining to also turn the neckline just like I did for, just like I explained for the front piece also. So this is my front piece. I've sewn it. Can you see how it just opens the panels? Can you see how it just opens? And this is what it looks like on the wrong side. That's on the reverse side. See, so you can see that it has this nice wavy look. Can you see? It has this wavy look. This is because I sewed crinoline to the lining side. So this is one side of the back. You can see that this is the lining. I sewed my crinoline to the hem. This is to actually achieve that wavy look. So this is this one that I've already turned. Can you see? So you can see that it has this nice wavy look. It's giving it that waviness. So it will just give it that nice bouncy look. So this is one side of our back. So I'm going to turn out the this to the right side also, and then I'll show us what we have. I'm turning it out from the small part of this armhole I have. So I will now give it a good press, join the shoulders, fix my sleeve, and show us what we have. So here we are. This is what our 12 panels blouse looks like. Can you see how the down part just opens up nicely? I really, really love the outcome. The color combination is beautiful. I fixed the basic sleeve and then I attached balloons to the basic sleeve. This is just so very beautiful. This is what it looks like in front. Let me show us what it looks like at the wrong side or at the reverse side. And you see, it's all sitting nice. And I've also fixed my zipper to the center back. Can you see? I made sure to align my zipper at the yoke area. You don't want one to be down and the other up. So you just want to take your time carefully and bring it out well. So you can see how the center back too is. So you don't want to cut the center back straight. Just also open it by whatever you are opening your panels by so that it just has this nice balance to flare out very well. So I'm going to wear this on the mannequin so that we'll see what we have. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please, 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 please kindly hit on the subscribe button to subscribe. Share this video. Feel free to leave a comment. Like this video. This actually helps my channel grow. And don't forget to put on your notification bell so you get notified once I post a new video. Thank you. Thank you so much for watching. See you in my next video. Bye.